Hello, everyone, and welcome on into a new unscheduled and unscripted video. I will do my very best to not ramble on. Last week, I published an article on my blog about my journey from this summer when I did the 5K challenge to the more personal and meaningful journey that I started then, not really knowing what I started really. If you are curious about this, I will link it in the description. I will not repeat myself. If you're interested, you'll click on the link, and if not, why tell you now? Point is, part of my journey, specifically journaling, I started reading up on a bunch of things. I read about coactive coaching, and what I was really interested in is how they view communication, and especially listening. They have different levels and everything. It's another way to explain active listening, I think, but I found that really, really impactful, and it did get me thinking about how we communicate, how I communicate, and what I do, what I would want, what I would need, that sort of things. Last week, was it last week already? Yes, last week I went to a meetup. It was called Story Circle, where just a few women shared a few stories about themselves and the others listened. During that event, another lady mentioned the artist way, which was something that I had already heard of, been told wonderful things about, and I got the gist. You write 3 pages in the morning and that will do things to you, for you. We'll see. But since I had finished coactive coaching, I wanted to pick my next book, and I was particularly interested in how we communicate, communication skills, social skills. And in my search, I came across this book, The Listening Path, also by Julia Cameron. So it was like, well, if I'm going to dive into her work, because it is closely connected to the artist way and the morning pages and the artist date and the walks. So, well, I was curious about the artist way, might as well get it as well. I ordered the book. I'm still waiting for it, and in the meanwhile I found this one elsewhere. And there was this one too, so I was like, fine, let's do things properly, essentially. So the workbook from the introduction, essentially, to make it simple, is practical things you do to follow the artist way, while the artist way probably has practical things as well. I haven't got it yet, but also explains why it works and how it works. That's my basic understanding. And so this morning I started writing. I did my morning pages, which I didn't find was very, very different from what I do in the morning. I always write in the morning in this lovely, lovely notebook. I was a little desperate, disappointed. Now, when I saw the book, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be my next journal / planner. And I was very hyped about it, but my journal is not here. My journals tend to get really thick because I would put all kinds of little bits and pieces from my day. And I realized that this one would not work because you have to close it. So I say, well, this one has to be a simple journal. And I've been using it, I'm not very far along in it. I've been using it as a journal where I already have a bunch of prompts that I like. I have shared them on my Discord, but essentially it's about checking in with yourself, thinking about the day before, what you did, what you avoided, and if there's anything left over you want to deal with today, and then decide what your priorities are. Also, maybe think about what could possibly derail your plans and what you'd want to do if that happens. So that's what I've been doing regularly for a few months. Before that, I found that I was essentially making a to-do list and telling myself that I really had to do my to-do list. It felt very transactional, so I like that a lot. this morning, doing a free-form stream of consciousness writing, I found myself going back to my prompts, like not following prompt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the maximum is 8, but really just writing about yesterday, where I read the introduction to the listening path, and the introduction explains, I mean, it's not that long, that would be the introduction. Pages? 36, about 30 pages, explains the morning pages and the artist date and the walk, and the introduction of this one also explain those basic tools. So I feel I already have a basic understanding of how it works. So this morning I wrote about what I read yesterday and how it felt and what resonated with me. Also planning what I wanted to do today and what was important and all that good stuff. So that's it. I said I would not ramble. I am starting the listening path and the artist way. It is not a challenge. The challenge framework really helped me. It served its purpose. That's what I needed at the time. All these months ago, this summer, I don't feel I need a challenge. I don't feel I need an excuse to do something for myself. So I'm just taking that journey. Technically 2 journeys, but I feel they are very intertwined. That's what it is. I don't even know that I want to do a weekly review of what happened. I don't even want to give myself that sort of pressure, which is funny because with the challenges, that's exactly what I needed. The fact that I need to make a video at the end of the week to report on my progress. That's not what it is about, I guess. So when there's anything that I want to share, I will share it then. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye guys.